I want to thank you for coming today and for the great participation. I want to introduce my principal secretary, Madime. Maybe you can even stand next to me. You know, amevaa vizuri sana, siko smart. Mpige makofi, iko sawa, iko sambamba. It's great. It's Friday, so we dress down as government on Fridays. So karibu sana. Madime. Yes, Madime is a very, very efficient Madime. I'd like to say that today I'm very proud to be here because we are seeing of a group of people traveling. The people who are traveling have been traveling basically every week. Since we launched all these recruitment, people are traveling out of this country every week. And so just because Mutua does not come and launch them and show you they're traveling does not mean that they're not traveling. When I travel every single week, people are traveling. People get their visas, their tickets are bought, they travel every week. I'd like to point out a few things. One, there's the issue of people who are trafficked in East Asia. I saw some media reports saying, oh, these Kazi Majuu travel agencies. Hapana, hiyo ni uongo. The people being trafficked to all these countries were actually hired by people either online or by travel agencies or by other people who are not registered with the Republic of Kenya. The government of Kenya does not know those people. So somebody sees an ad somewhere, instead of checking whether that person is recognized, you sign up with that person. They even have been traveling with tourist visas. All the people you see here are not traveling with tourist visas. They are traveling with employment visas. So the people who have been trafficked are either logging online or they go, and that's what we are saying. We want you to be very careful. Do not work with any agency that is not registered because you're working with a total stranger. Make it very difficult to even ask to talk to them. I talked to a young man and I asked him, how did you go to Thailand? Na akasema aliongea na mtu online. How did you get there? Akalipa pesa online, akanunua ticket online, akaingia ndege. Nikamuuliza, huyu mtu mlikaa chini mkaongea? Hapana. Unaweza muona akipita kwa barabara useme ni huyu? Hapana. Ulipa na nini? Nilipa na M-Pesa, nilideposit hapo. Hiyo namba inafanya kazi? Hapana. You know what I mean? So these people have been conned, are not part of we are not part of the government program. Those are people who are being taken advantage of by people who are conning the people of Kenya, young people, because of their desperation. So it's very important to get that point across. Number two, when we recruited, maybe we had a big Qatar program, which is part of this program. So the Qatar company, efficient, very nice country, Qatar, with over 50,000 people. They are posting some of the people to Iraq, others to Algeria, others to various countries on the world where they have the companies. It's a Qatar program, but it's continuing. These people here were recruited as part of that program, and they were interviewed, and you are free to talk to them. They are interviewed by the people from Qatar, and they're being posted to other places. So it's an ongoing program that is going. And when people are recruited, it doesn't mean you're recruited today, unapata kazi, unaenda kesho. There's a process. You have to do your medicals, and then the country has to prepare the visas when they have a slot for your accommodation and everything. If the country says, wait for 2 months, wait for 3 months, we are not ready because maybe tulikuwa najenga building where you're going to work, it is not ready, you're going to be a driver, you're going to be this, you wait, then you wait. And we've made it very clear. If you don't want to wait, you get back your money, you stay. That slot goes to somebody else. Very, very simple. So mtu akisema we are being conned, you are only conned if you paid money to an agency and that agency has refused to refund you the money or has refused to take you to work, wamefanya kwa ukora. Na hao wakora tunawafukuza sana hao. Hao wakora. And I'm working with the DPP, I'm working with the Honorable Mudavadi, we're working with the Attorney General's office, because since I got into this ministry, I realized that for the last 2 years, nobody has been prosecuted. Hardly anybody has been prosecuted. There's a slowness in prosecution, which we have discussed, and I'm going to make sure people are prosecuted. It's been a push. I started about a month ago, written letters to ensure that we see prosecutions. So these agencies, Some of them have been blacklisted. We've ensured that they don't con people. But those are not part of any government project. Those are people who are issuing statements and conning people. The other thing I like to talk about is that if you feel you cannot wait as a young person, you don't want to travel, ask for a refund. You get back your refund. When you get back your refund, the monies that were used for medical, because ukienda kufanya medical, umepigwa x-ray, umetolewa damu, there's a cost to somebody. That cost has already been expended. You cannot expect to change your mind and then somebody bears that cost. So that cost is minus and you get the rest of your money. That is your right. But somebody should not refuse to give you your money. So if you feel you're not patient enough to wait, we did the interviews in, was it March? October. Well, sorry, March is, we did interviews in October. Watu wakaanza kwenda November, December, si ndio? They have been traveling. These ones have been patient and others are still traveling. We have more people going next week. We have more people going the next 2 weeks. People will continue traveling according to when we get the visas sent to us. There was also a delay of some of the travel because some of the offer letters came with less money. Me si kazi yangu, I don't send people into slavery. When I said the money is less, I told the agencies they renegotiate so that our people can get enough money for living. Si ni ukweli? Yes, si mulipo pesa kidogo because other countries are taking little money. Kenyans are very skilled. So my job was to ensure that Kenyans get good money. So some of those letters were delayed. We renegotiated. Actually, the rates went up. They got better salaries. Others we are negotiating so that we don't send people into slavery. It is also important to know that people travel and people are returned for various reasons. And some of the reasons are personal reasons. You've been tested here, you're okay. But you're traveling maybe 2-3 months after testing. You go to a country, they retest you, they find you're HIV positive, for example. Or they find that you have taken drugs because it shows in your blood between the time you're tested here and there. Or they find an anomaly of something you've caught a chest infection between this time and that time you're tested. And people are sent back. So when you see people are sent back, at times you don't want to tell you this person amerudishwa kwa sababu yuko HIV positive because that's their right. So some people are complaining, going to newspapers, Indiana nikarudishwa, but you know, it is because they went and were found to be sick or to be found not to qualify for some medical reasons. And that's a reality. So hata awe kwa hapa, pengine wengine watarudishwa because wataenda wakutukane, walikuwa wanapiga sherehe juzi kwa sababu wanasafiri, wamevuta bangi. You know, and it's showing in the blood. Ndio? Put them some pills. Amempiga sherehe, unaona? So I mean it's a reality. Unaenda na nimeshawaambia wanajua. Unapiga sherehe, unaenda unachoma unarudi. So some people go wanarudi hapa wamerudishwa, mnasema fake ati conning. They're not being conned. It's just a reality of the day of what happens with recruitment in these countries that are very strict when it comes to your health care and your reason. Others go and they're also doing document verification, and they do document verification, and some are sent back because they say there's a problem with the document. When they come back here, we're able to check the document and able to convince them that these documents are okay, and they go because that is something that is ongoing. Others are sent back because, for example, there are people who went to work as police security officers. They go there and they're sent back. They're told they don't qualify because of they went, and when they got there, their attitude was not in keeping with what they were going to do. So the employer anakwambia sorry, ndio. So ndio naambia watu, you must project the right image. So it is the right of the employer to keep the people they want. You cannot force an employer. So when you see people being returned, it is not because that they are being conned or what. No. It is because there's a problem. And there's usually a problem when people are being returned. I like also to say that it is quite telling that the young people, some young people, are actually being manipulated for personal reasons for other people, because I think this is a very successful program. and a very needy program, which I'm going to take nationally so that we can get a lot of our people to go. I will not stand by and see a program being diminished by people who are afraid that this program William Ruto will succeed. Number two, I will not stand by and see any young person being conned. And they know very well that if you're being conned, and we're dealing with these issues, the PS knows, I get submissions every time. We're investigating. We get people getting their money refunded all the time. We have gotten some agencies, we've called the DCI, we've reported. We are looking forward to them being charged very, very soon so they stop conning our people. We are in the front line of protecting the innocence of our people. Our people are suffering, you know. So we are the ones who are actually in the front line protecting them. But it's also good to say that if you're not patient, you know, we have people here traveling to Germany, Qatar, Dubai, Iraq, Saudi Arabia. If you're not patient, na unaona imekaa sana, rudi chukua pesa yako. Hii kupiga kelele, kuandamana, kimbia kwa media ni haki yako, lakini it's actually very good for me because nikiona ukifanya hivyo nasema phew, because huko ngambo nikienda wanalalamika about the attitude of Kenyans. I went to a country the other day and there was a delay with a government program involving many people from many countries, including our neighbors from Ethiopia, from Uganda, from Zambia, from Malawi, people from outside the continent, from Ghana, sorry, from Nigeria, and then people from outside the continent, from places like India, Pakistan, even people from Europe, people from Canada, South Americas, people from Bolivia. And they told me that these people, there was a delay in a government system in doing something that went for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And they said the delay will continue for about 2 months because they had a computer error. I was being told by a fellow minister that there was a demonstration planned and executed only by people from Kenya. And the minister said, what is wrong with Kenya? How come Ugandans? How come the others? And they say they don't want any more Kenyans for their program. I was pleading. I was saying, no, 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 no. That's why I'm telling my friends here, when you go to some countries and there's a problem, other people, other countries are patient. The problem, talk to us. Say you want to come back home, we'll facilitate, we'll make sure you come back home. But if you're waiting for another country's program, and these countries where nobody has ever been demonstrating, and then you go and start demonstrating in their country, then you're not only spoiling for yourself, you're also spoiling for other Kenyans who may want to get the opportunity to travel to these countries and be able to make a livelihood. So I was joking, telling my friends here, ukiwa hiyo nchi unasikia you want to andamana sana, iko kwa damu, you know, damu itakuandamana, you know, get a ticket, come home, takualau uandamane hapa Nairobi, uchome vitu, alafu kimalize urudi kwa hiyo nchi kufanyia kazi hapo. You know, because when you're in a foreign country, it's very different. If people from another country came to Kenya and you have given them jobs, alafu waanze kuandamana wanafunga barabara from another country, the first thing Kenyans will tell them is rudini kwenu, si ndio? You don't andamana in a country that is not yours. That is common sense. So when you go there, you go as ambassadors of our country. There are some things that I've been seeing some media reports, and I'll be going to the Senate, and I'll be going to expose some of the allegations that have been made in the Senate. I don't want to go to the Senate waniambie you gave evidence outside the Senate and you didn't come back to the Senate. You should have come back. I don't want to get in trouble with the Senate because the Senate is very clear. That's why I'm not going to go into some details of some of the allegations that are being made. I'll clarify them and show actually who is sponsoring them and why they are being done, and expose some of the people who are doing some of these things. Some of these, I was told we've got passports here. People are traveling today and they're free. Hiyo nini inaendelea hapo? My brother hapo amefungua, pengine ni kazi na practice hiyo kazi anaenda. Ni excitement. Unajua anajua anaenda na ndege. Kwa hivyo